What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Still getting things set up. Still getting things set up. Let your boy know. Say what's up in the chat. Let me know that you out there. We're going to discuss some stuff. I'm going to go on mute for now. But let me know y'all out there. We had a good cover 3 show the other day. Let me know that the audio is good too. We had a good cover 3 show the other day. Talking about Pickens and the trading and all that type of stuff. What's up, B Birds? What up, B Bird? Still playing around with the setup and everything. Y'all also let me know too if y'all want to call in, or I might even do is I might even put the link of this in here so that if you ain't afraid to put your face in the camera or whatnot, we can discuss some stuff. You know what I'm saying? What up, JB? What up, Brandy? What's going on? I know people that are on Twitter too. Eventually what I'm going to do, probably we're going to keep this going for maybe the first 10, 15 minutes. And then, you know what I'm saying, what we'll do is we'll go full-time YouTube. So the only way you can really see the rest of it is if you're on the YouTube. Alrighty. So what I want to do, and I might start doing this, I might do Friday morning football talks. And the reason that I'm inspired to do this is, hell, I talk to my guy Set It Off all of the time about these type of topics. And why not set it off with everybody else? You know what I'm saying? Why not? Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let everybody know that we live over here. Let me see what I can do. I'm going to put the StreamYard link in the comments and see if I can post that. You know what I mean? I'll put the link in the comments, and yeah. That way we get a little bit personal. We get a little bit personal with the audience here. My guy Rome said this. He said we don't have like a morning or a midday show. So we're going to change that a little bit. And I'm going to see what we talking about today. All right? I'm going to see what we talking about today. I'm going to try and pin. Let's see if I can pin it. All right. Cool. So it should be pinned up there for the people that want to join, that want to talk about it, who want to vent. What up, Jay Cuddy? What up? What's going on, man? What up? So we talked about this on cover 3, and it was a very, very spirited conversation between Rome and Tuck. And so I was going to do an 8-minute video on this, but I also want to be able to interact with the people out there. I want to be able to interact with what people's thoughts are when it comes to this, because I'm split down the middle, right? Because part of me tells me that Dallas has been waiting so long to find an identity, right? That going and making the gamble on George Pickens and being right and getting that comfortable and getting him a true X, you can definitely see all of the possibilities when it comes to that. And with that being said, still led to 7 wins. You didn't have a number 2, 7 wins. There were times where you had number 1, number 2, 12 wins. You didn't have a number 2, 12 wins. I think that ultimately what it comes down to is this. Dallas has to build the defense. They're going to have to build the defense. But with that being said, we have fought so long for the organization to have an identity, right? We fought so long to have some sort of identity. George Pickens is a good part of the identity. Very good part of the identity. I mean, I think Foots put it up on Twitter, and I'm not really ready to say this because I lived it. I'm a little bit older than Foots, so I know it's not the same thing. But I can understand where he's going with this, where he compared him. I don't know if it was a apples to apples comparison to Randy Moss, but the George Pickens home run play definitely is something that you don't want to take away from the offense, because you've seen it, you lived it, you know what it does to that building, you know what it does to this team. The problem is that you can't stop anybody when you need to stop them. In some years, you'll have a top 10 defense, but you can't stop them when you need to stop them. I think the word that we're looking for is intent. And I talked about this with Roman Tuck in our chat. And I think that in order to articulate it, I had to Rome started it on cover 3 when he talked about the Rams. But the way that they build their team, it's always done with intent. It's always done with intent, right? Sean McVay, there's two things, and I know it's about to sound very, very simple. It's about to sound so simple, and I'm going to understand that. Also, man, y'all hit that like button for your boy, too. Hit that like button, that way we can let people know, and we're giving people the opportunity to really voice their opinion on this. Let's voice their opinion. Let's voice their opinion. But I'm going to speak my piece first. I'm going to speak my piece. I got to keep it a buck. I just feel like defensively, there has not been the intent. And so when you look at the Rams, you already know what they're going to be a high offensive power team, and they're going to lead with their offense. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Elton, get on YouTube, and the StreamYard link is up. So on YouTube, I got it pinned I got it pinned there. So yeah, jump on if you can. The way that the Rams build is they're going to build with intent. So they know what they are offensively. They know what their scheme is offensively. They know the type of lineman that they need. The Rams don't have to go get first-round linemen every year. They just know what it is and what it's supposed to look like. And I think that that's what Dallas got on offense this year. That's why I think you need to sign George Pickens, because you know what you want it to look like on offense. You don't want to backtrack with that, right? So now that you got it there, what McVay and them used to do is they would throw the money at the defense, or they would go for broke on the defense and try and figure it out that way. And they would go for broke. And I can't tell you how many times that team has showed up, got to the dance, or gotten close to the dance, and it all fall apart, and then they've had to rebuild and retool, and they've done it time and time again, and they've continued to lap the Cowboys. Did they make the Super Bowl this year? No. But if you look at where the Rams are right now, they're in really good position where they have a young team around their top-tier quarterback. So, hiring Shoddy, let's keep it a buck. You're trying to go the McVay route. And the Rams, when they're trying to go for broke, they go for broke. Dallas is in a position, I think, and I saw this graphic, to where Dallas can create $131 million with restructures. Dallas going to have to spend some money, y'all. What's up, Joe? You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to spend some money. It's just that simple. And on top of spending that money, like, you know what I'm saying? I think they're going to have to come correct this time. I think they're going to have to come correct. And that's just what it is. I'm going to bring B-Bird on real quick, let him speak his piece, and I got my guy Elton waiting real fast. What's up, B-Bird?
Hey, could you mute me for a second, brother? I got a little bit of audio issues. Might take about 2 minutes.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna bring Elton on, and then let me know. Shoot me the thumbs up when you're ready.
All right, brother.
All right. What's up, Elton?
What up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Get chilling on this Good Friday.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, bro. So we know that it's about to get personal with David Mulugheta. And I was in the middle of pretty much saying how I'm split in the middle of, a lot of people are talking about trading Pickens for Max Crosby.
No, I'm not.
But
I am not with that.
All right, yeah, speak. Tell me why.
For one, it is a clear age difference, and Max is hitting 30, George is 24. For one, it actually don't weigh. You can keep both. If I'm gonna get Max, I am gonna trade him that other 2027 first round pick. I am not trading him George Pickens. And if I am going to trade George Pickens, it is because they want to get past the Jamar Chase contract. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I am just not doing that. I'm like, okay, you can do a little bit above CD, which he really shouldn't pass CD just yet because the compliments aren't the same, but he is a newly all pro, so all right, he can move past that. But getting past Jamar Chase, no, we aren't doing that. And I actually think David Mulugheta is putting them in a horrible position because GP's it might be unfair, but his reputation, he's a bad locker room guy. He is a malcontent. So actually telling him to sit out training camp only furthers that reputation. You aren't doing your client a good you aren't really doing your client a good job doing that. And I actually want to keep GP. You actually got to me, the offense ran smoother with him. But one thing Jerry and them showed you last year, we will get you the fuck up out of here if you piss us off.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, for my people that's watching on Twitter, click over to YouTube, DMV Fanatic, and join the comments. If you want to get in the conversation, I'll put the link up. So what's up, B Bird? What's going on, my guy?
What's up, man? I'm doing good. Appreciate the show this morning, man. Hey, what's up, brother? I ain't catch your name. What's going on?
What up, Elton?
Hey, so with the Mulugheta thing, I definitely think that he gets a bad rap in this. I think that let's go back to Parsons, because that's where his reputation came from. All he was doing was being an agent. I never understood how the Cowboy fans turned that whole situation around to go against Micah Parsons. It was amazing to me. And Mulugheta never did anything. Only thing Jerry did is bypass the proper protocol, right? He went to the player instead of going to the agent. Then, then the agent got involved and backed away from it. Then Jerry never mentions David Mulugheta's name, disrespectful. Jerry does not handle these big time players with dignity. These things aren't handled with dignity, man. They're handled like they're just a negotiation deal, like these players are going to come back from it. And I did a video yesterday just saying, what kind of effect does all this hard negotiation have, man, on the locker room?
True.
I remember last year, do you remember all the bad negotiating that Detroit did with Aiden Hutchinson when they drugged him through the mud? Do you remember that?
I actually don't.
Because it wasn't any. They quietly went to in the offseason, the GM went to him and say, hey, Aiden, I know you had the knee injury, but man, if you're the Aiden of old, we're going to give you that contract. And it quietly came in game 6 and gave him $42 million, which made him the second highest paid. That's how you handle negotiations. That's how a GM that knows that my butter is bred by my superstars, and I still have to have a good relationship with these guys to keep my job. I can't make enemies out of my top players. That's how they operate. The deal is that Jerry doesn't have to do that, and so he handles Dak Prescott contract like he's a defensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a franchise quarterback get kind of drugged through the mud like that. And it just doesn't happen because the GM knows that I am connected at the hip with this quarterback. How he goes, I go.
Yeah.
And if I want my kids to continue going to these private schools and stay in this gated community, we got to be on the same accord. And so
part of the problem is he don't have a coach that he's enjoying at the hip with. It's always a revolving door of me finding the right yes man.
Yeah.
And so again, we talked about before you got on, I was talking about building an identity. You have the opportunity right now to build an identity with Brian Schottenheimer, with Christian Parker, and build with intent. So I'm gonna let you finish, but I just kind of wanted to interject with that.
Yeah, I just wanted to just really just expound on David Mulugheta because I just think that he gets a bad rap in this whole thing. That brother just doing his job, man. And if think about this, if Jerry goes to him first and say, "Hey, let's go sit down and talk about it," the agent, Mike Parsons probably still here.
Ooh, that's a good point. What you think, El?
Maybe. I actually think they knew in 2024 they actually might have wanted to get rid of Micah because we actually heard the rumors then.
I agree. And the reason I agree with that is how they move.
Their hand. I actually do think they overplayed their hand because everybody thought, all right, Jerry always does this, and by the end of training camp, we will pay him. I think none of us thought Jerry was actually pissed the way it went.
Yeah, because Michael wasn't one of the ones, and typically the players they'll bow down, not say nothing, no matter how bad they want to say something. CD wanted to say stuff bad, but he didn't. You know, Dak knows how to play it the best, so he, you know, Dak plays it the best by showing up and just smiling in front of everybody and not ducking. You know, you about to say something, B-Bird?
No, I was going to say you're right because really, if Michael Parsons never shows up to camp, do like CD does, he probably got a contract. But he's a passionate player, and I'm not gonna ever give Jerry credit in that negotiation, even a trade, because some people was like, man, Jerry, man, looking good on this trade, man. You don't supposed to act out of emotion. Jerry's emotional, man, and he does not get the credit.
Both of them were emotional. Let's make that known, though. I gotta say that Michael was emotional too.
Yeah, but I expect the players to be that way, right? And so I don't expect the management, right, to be I expect them to be different than the player, right? And so I think, man, you even go back to Trey Lance. I told Skywalker on this show, as soon as that trade was happened, I said, oh, that's Jerry being emotional about the way the Dak Prescott contract is going. He's trying to get leverage. And everything after that, in the preseason after that, everything proved out. He was trying to get leverage against Dak. He didn't necessarily want Trey Lance. He wanted to show him, hey, we'll go get somebody. That, man, you are trading picks out of emotion, man. You are trading a generational pass rusher out of emotion. You got pissed. Let me tell you, man, anytime you get emotional, I'll give you one real quick. I used to gamble a long time ago, and I used to play blackjack at the table.
Yeah.
When I got emotional, and I'll be all over the place, like, man, I should have doubled down, I should have did this. The only time I ever won, man, was when this dude at the job told me, hey, man, I got a card that shows you when to hit and when not to hit. I was like, what? He said, yeah, you can take it down. And I took it down, and I did exactly what the card said, and I won. But here's the deal. When I lost, I knew that I did the right thing, right? And so I never beat myself over the head because I didn't get emotional about it, right? And so, Jerry, whenever your emotions are involved in deals, they probably ain't going to go too well, man, because your emotions are going to take over. Other GMs that GMing for their job, they can't afford to get emotional because it ain't their money, to be totally honest, which is the owner's money. I need to get players, man. My biggest thing is to get players. But Jerry and Steven wants to get great deals on players. And that's what the issue is. Them guys have not signed a top 20 free agent since Brandon Carr in 2020. That's crazy. That's the story of since I've been on these content creators and been a content creator. I say that often because that's amazing that in 2020 is the last time we signed a guy that we signed for over 3 years at big money, and we had to compete for him. We have not competed for a free agent since 2012. Man.
And on top of what you're saying, they have been able to create a whole bunch of money through restructures for a long time so that they can go out and spend the money. Absolutely. And they sit on the pot and they don't do anything with it. Every year watching the salary cap threshold increase, you know, they just sit on it and they do nothing with it. And then you wonder why you're in a situation, and it makes you wonder as a fan, do they really care about winning?
They are going to spend this year.
I hope so, man.
They are. They
Because
can't.
Mike Vrabel is getting a lot of credit at New England, and he should. But nobody's saying that they signed players to the tune of $350 million worth of contract this offseason also. They've got starters. I think they got like 6 starters or 7 starters out of free agency. Because you can do that now. You can turn your team around. What Philadelphia does is they just push the money back to 2029, and people saying, are they going to be in salary cap hell? Salary cap hell ain't existing, y'all, because the money just keeps going up. And they what they do is they see into the future and say, hey, why don't we put this the bulk of their money, the bulk of the cap hit into the future when the salary cap is going to be higher. What you got to do is find a time that you said, okay, the time is now, which I think is now for us because our window is Dak Prescott, man.
I agree. What you got, El?
I think the only problem, really, because I actually do think they're going to spend this year, this isn't a great free agency class.
Yeah, you're right.
It isn't. I mean, there's guys they should get, but I don't think, they actually should have did what they're going to do this year in the past 2 years when it was a better free agency class.
So if it's not a good free agency class, you got to sign Pickens. You have to sign Pickens, and in my opinion, I think because you traded so many picks in the past, and they didn't work out, like Trey Lance didn't work out, Jonathan Mingo, I mean, let's just call it what it is. That didn't work out. You ended up giving up a pick for Pickens. I think the one thing that you hit on, you gotta invest in truly. You know what I'm saying? And build a defense. I think trying to go get Max Crosby, you once again put yourself in a situation where your team's not going to be deep and you're going to be top heavy again. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I am definitely trying to trade for Max, but I'm not giving them a 2026 first. We actually need both of those picks. I'm not. And my whole thing is I am going into free agency. I am going to get my guy. So if I have to take Carnell Tate at 12, I am going to be in a position to, because I am not dibbling and dabbling. So if I'm not going to keep Pickens, I am going to put myself in the best position to draft the best player. So if one of them receivers slip down to 12, all right, I am going to be able to take them in.
They should have took a receiver last year is the point. They should have took a receiver instead of going to go get Pickens, because you were in a position, I think, Emeka Egbuka, you were in the position to get the receiver last year, but y'all want to build a line in order to not run the ball again. The problem is their team building. They keep getting first-round linemen, and there's no scheme, there's no identity. Y'all just keep throwing first-round linemen, spending premium picks there. Defensively, you're not spending money unless it's your homegrown people that you end up shitting on later on. You know what I'm saying? And you're not spending money over there. All your premium money and your premium picks are going to the offense that can't run the ball when you need to.
So in all the excitement of trading for Pickens last year, I called Law Show, and I'm gonna tell you about Pickens, man. I wanted him out the draft because I thought we needed that dog mentality that he showed in college. I said, man, we need somebody like that. Pittsburgh ended up getting him before we got a chance to. But the first thing I told Law, he had a show right after the trade. I said, Law, why didn't we do a sign and trade or a trade contingent upon him signing the contract? Where everybody was like, well, you got to see what he do. You know, he's been a head case. I said, man, this dude here is not necessarily a head case. I think I understand wide receivers, most of them. And what I mean by that is they're so dependent on the quarterback that they have to kind of make some noise to get the ball, right? It's
a Pittsburgh thing to me, but yeah.
Huh?
I said it's a Pittsburgh thing to me.
No, it is. It is. So he never had a quarterback even close to Dak Prescott, right? And so I knew that. I say, if this guy gets the quarterback, he's going to put these numbers up with Dak Prescott. I say, what you got to do, and this is what GMs have to do. They have to see the future, right? They have to see it and not be scared of, hey, man, let's just go and invest in this guy. Because I think if you walk up to Pickens last year and say, hey, man, look, we want to trade you. We want to trade for you, but we don't want to go into this. We want to give you a contract. I want to pay you $28 million a year, for 3 years. I think at that point in time, he takes that deal, man. But you got to be able to see the future and see what he's going to become, because now you got that under contract and it's already good. Because you're basically paying him Devontae Jackson money that's, 3 years later. And so I thought that they should have did that. Now, I've been a big proponent of Max Crosby for the all in the trade deadline, man, because I think that a defensive end changes everything. Pressure changes your cornerback play, it changes your safety play, it just changes everything. And what we could not get to the quarterback, man, without our defensive tackles. All the other defensive ends are pedestrian type guys that kind of play off of another guy being on the other side that's going to take the attention away. And we just didn't have that. And I'm going to make one comment and then I'm going to let you talk. I listened to a show, Sky Steels, and he was on and he said something that was so amazing to me. I never thought about it. He said, you know why San Francisco 49ers defense is so good every year, even though they change coordinators? It's because they keep the same scheme. They keep basically the same scheme. They bring in another guy that knows that scheme. It may be
bingo.
Yeah, and you have to get somebody. That's part of your identity, right? We all know San Francisco. I don't care how bad they are. They're gonna play some good defense. They're gonna hit you in the mouth. And so, but it's because they keep playing the same scheme. But we change coordinators and change schemes all the time. So our guys need to become professionals at what they do. And I just want to say that last point because it kind of touches off of some things that you said. That scheme is big, man.
Absolutely, and continuity. And I think that for me, like I said, I'm split down the middle on it. I'm split down the middle just simply because I look at Max Crosby and what he's done in the past. There might have been times where he's stood up as a wide nine, but I don't know that it's necessarily a fit for some of the hybrid 3-4 stuff that they want to be able to do. Which for me, if you got to give up a lot for him and then convert him, is the risk worth it? Because with the 3-4, you got to throw bodies at him. That's the one thing you got to get. If you want a 2 gap, you got to get bigger 5 techniques to kind of hold down 2 gaps and stuff like that. You got to get a nose that actually knows how to play it. Now, you could do a lot of different things with it. You could do some you could do some over stuff. Like there's a whole bunch of different things. But bottom line, when you are converting to a certain thing, you got to get the ingredients. And where Dallas has struggled is that, like you said, they kept the same players, but they've changed philosophies every time. And they got guys here who don't fit this one. They might have fit the last one, but they don't. And that's why the defense looked the way that it did. And it always does typically when they make that change. You got something else?
No, I agree.
Hey, so what the thing that I saw a show Boss did the other day when he kind of broke down Trey Henderson and Max Crosby, kind of juxtaposed them against each other. The thing about Trey Henderson that you don't give up any draft picks getting that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Or Nick Herbert.
Yeah, but Herbert, if you're gonna go 3-4, Herbert picks.
He's an unrestricted free agent. I looked it up. Yeah, unrestricted free agent.
Wow. Yeah, that dude gets to the quarterback, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the other side, but I'm just saying, if you're going to convert, really, you got Donovan Ezeraku for a reason. So you're getting a solid guy on the other side, and then you got your draft picks. You get what I'm saying? Like, That's where I think it's more about building the continuity. Because for me, and we were talking about this with Rome the other day, is that it's not so much about having the dominant guy. If it was, Myles Garrett would be in the show every year. It's about having the right unit that knows how to play off each other. Correct. Or having the correct coaching. And so I think with Christian Parker, like Max Crosby was talked about before Christian Parker. So they have something in place where, they looked at Pittsburgh's outside linebacker coach. They ended up hiring Georgia's outside linebacker coach, which it was a 3-4 hybrid. So they're trying to switch to a 3-4 to maximize what they got. Because in all actuality, really, you got to play Osa because you're paying them. You know what I'm saying? You got to play all 3 of those guys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to find a way to do that. So you're really looking for an edge. You know what I'm saying? You're really looking for.
And they actually just got SMU's in DC. They actually got a good defensive staff.
Yeah, I think they do too, man. Yeah, so, I think it's going to be a different mentality.
So what I fear is that going to get Max Crosby, that would have worked more for Eberflus. It could work for this, but it's like, what do you got to give up? If I could just start moving forward, instead of like jumping around. I think jumping around has been the problem, and they end up top heavy. So I don't know. Like I know people are like F them picks, but at some point you got to start building. You got to start building. You got to start
You
building the
actually
unit,
still
bro.
need cheap, good players on your roster.
You would have to hit more home runs on the cheaper guys, and they haven't been hitting them home runs.
Well,
They
the
haven't.
Rams have hit
That is
home
why
runs
Philly's
too, right?
defense is so good, because everybody who's good is on their rookie contract.
But also think about it, they use premium picks for those guys too. They use the premium picks.
Well, you know, I went into last year looking at the roster. I'm talking about going into last year when Michael Parsons is traded, and I looked and counted how many first round draft picks we had on offense. I think we had 5. I looked at how many first round draft picks we had on defense. I think we had none. And I said,
bingo.
Well, no matter now your offense is number 1 in the league and your defense is number 2. You have to put resources in it, man. And resources, draft picks, or free agency too, right? But
I think the problem with the defense is they actually give everybody a big second contract on defense, but then I got a broke foot every year. I'm tearing my ACL.
They giving second contracts to non-premium people.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Trey earned his. Bland shouldn't have got no contract, bro. Bland shouldn't have got no deal.
Well, you know why Bland got that contract, right?
Because they was having problems with Trey.
Well, I think it more was this, right? Jerry wanted to show, okay, look at what we're doing with this money that we didn't sign Parsons with. Look at what we get to do. And that's a public opinion thing. Jerry's really good. So when you've been around for 35 years and you get you work the media constantly, he's really good at working the media, man. And he understands what he has to do to put people on his side. So that's why he did that. Again, Quentin Williams would not be here if the Cowboys were not 32nd ranked in defense and Michael Parsons was the defensive player of the month. It was embarrassing. He had to go do something. That's why when people say, man, you got to give him credit for going, no, that dude was embarrassed, man, because
they didn't have a plan. They didn't have a plan.
Which is good. Whatever it takes to make him move. I don't care.
I think, and I actually think they know we actually screwed the pooch last year with that defense.
Yeah.
We actually had way too good of an offense to be 7, 9, and 10.
Yeah. And here's my thing about building the defense, right? Because this has been the problem, is that they've been trying to patch it up to where they've been trying to make the defense middle of the pack. And have you guys ever, like, when you're setting goals, typically you're setting goals so that if you fall short, you end up good. But their goal is middle of the pack. So typically you end up with trash. You know what I'm saying? The last couple of years. And have they given resources to the defense? Sure, they have. And it's not their fault that Nealon and that happened, because I do think he was going to be a big part. Like, I mean, heck, he would have been a big part of this 3-4 push. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of lost out on him as a person, as a teammate, and as somebody that was going to be here for the future. But that's also part of what Elton was saying. That wasn't to help build around Micah. That was to replace Micah. They all of the actions that showed you that they were planning in case they had to move on without him.
Nealon was I am ready to get past D-Law and Micah.
I think Donovan Ezeraku was the final nail in the coffin that I'm ready to get past that personally.
So one thing I'll tell y'all, this is my opinion, that Michael Parsons last the year 2024, season 2024, the pressure kind of covered for a lot of our players on the back end, right? And so when he was gone to kind of expose them. Now let me tell you something about exposing. Now you can do something with it though, because what you can look at and say, no, we're not that good in the secondary. So don't just go get a pass rush. Let's get the secondary better, because as soon as you took out that element of a quick pressure, boy, we look bad, man. And that's what it was. I think we looked bad, and it showed. And it showed our cornerbacks. We had a lack of them, and then safety play. When was the last time you seen a safety make a play down the field? I have just not seen it on the ball. So I think what it's going to do, it kind of just shows some things.
But look at the safeties you got. It probably was Malik Hooker, which I think Malik Hooker at some point, at one point, he was kind of premium. But like no disrespect to these guys, like him a lot. Marquise Bell ain't premium.
No,
he's just a good, solid backup. Wanye, good, solid backup. Donovan Wilson, good solid backup, probably a special teams
He's
guy.
a special teams ace, but he
Yeah,
ain't just starting strong safety.
that's
Correct.
it. And so you got a room full of them.
I think we need two safeties, man. We gotta get more athletic back there, man. We just don't have.
Well, you can't. I must say you can't get that if look. You can't really do. And this is a safety draft, by the way. There's a lot of safeties in this draft.
Really?
So it's like if you give up the draft capital, you can't really go do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me,
We need teams to be dumb and use their positional value and let Caleb Downs fall.
A lot of people say Caleb Downs could fall to us. They say safeties don't usually go that high. I hope he does.
Yeah. I mean, because we got, like you said, positional value. Yeah, quote unquote. Yeah, I agree with him. You shouldn't take a safety in the first round.
You
shouldn't take a safety in the first round or the top 10.
You actually bet not let Christian Parker get Caleb Downs.
No, let him get Caleb Downs because he's going to get a bust. Let him get him because he's going to get a bust. He's going to be a bust. Yeah. Caleb Downs. You guys heard it here. He's going to be a bust.
Hey, let me
He's going to be a bust.
Let me ask you both of y'all a question, right? I may know the answer already. But if this is Philadelphia, because their front office is different than ours, and they had this Pickens situation, how do they handle it?
They would trade him.
You think so?
I think they would trade him. I think they would trade him and get picks. Because Philly always in a situation where, like, think about Hassan Reddick. They were having this issue. They got him up out of here. They ended up with picks. You know, I think it was somebody else. They about to trade A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown probably about to get traded, and they're going to get some picks. Like, that's the one thing Howie don't end up being. Somehow he don't end up being broke, and somehow he always end up with a bunch of premium picks. And I don't know how it keeps happening, but it does.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man, because that dude ended up I think they was a year out of the Super Bowl, and that dude traded so much they still had like 2 first-round draft picks and 2 different drafts. I was like, man, what? How? I didn't understand it, but he did it. That guy's a wizard.
Think if you're gonna trade Pickens, do it before the draft.
That's it, bro.
You actually need to come to a moment. Hey, are we gonna get this deal done? We aren't. Okay. We gonna move on and get you. And if you could get you a 3rd first-round pick, go for it. I think Jerry, like you said, needs to stop getting emotional. If y'all aren't gonna make that deal, let's cut ties now, because there ain't no need to drag this to July once the franchise tag deal is expired and having this. Well, is he gonna show up to camp? Go in, talk. If y'all can't get this deal done by April, okay, let's make a deal.
I'm with you wholeheartedly, bro. I'm with you wholeheartedly, because that was the mistake they made with Micah. To me, is that you kind of knew that you had a plan in place, or in case, like I said, intent and being definitive in what it is that you want to do moving forward. You know,
and
not having a plan.
If want to trade you the 31st pick in the draft, give it to him.
Yeah, because you didn't flip the pick, and that's smart business, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's where it is. Like, if with George Pickens, if you're gonna do it, then flip the pick and do something with it. And then, like you said, if Carnell Tate's looking at you right there, Carnell Tate might even end up being better than him anyway. So Carnell Tate looking at you, go get him. You know
I don't think that we have the right. My son loves Pickens, man. He's in college.
I do too, bro. I love Pickens.
But the thing is, I don't think we have the right with how bad our defense is to have that much resources at wide receiver. You can't have that much resources at wide receiver, right? And your defense is 32nd in the league. It's just crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? When you can use something to patch up the defense.
This is something I said on Twitter yesterday. People can't let Pickens go because you don't have the right running back to take the pressure off the passing game. If you had Jeremiah Love and you can run teams out of that shell coverage, everybody does, versus you don't. Lessen if Pickens being gone doesn't hurt you as bad, but you need Pickens because Javonte Williams was good, but who did he really run on that you really needed him to run on?
So I'm gonna tell you this, man, and DMV, I want you to chime in on this afterwards because this is interesting because you brought up Jeremiah Love. Let me tell you about the Cowboys' history because I've been around a little bit longer than you guys have. We've never won a Super Bowl without a Hall of Fame running back. Hall of Fame running back. So what it is running back does take the pressure off of everything, man. And you start looking at some of these bad weather games they had this year, man, which was a lot of them in the playoffs, where you couldn't throw the ball around anywhere. It becomes pretty much Oklahoma drill.
Man-on-man sport.
Yeah, it's just hey, who wants this more? Who can move people more? And the thing about the running back position, Javonte did well, but we don't have a superstar at running back that can just bam, hit it and go 80, which Jeremiah Love is that guy. So on our show, we do the OG podcast show. Cowboy Joe brought that up, and I was like, man, I said, I know that sounds crazy, like to draft Jeremiah Love because everybody was
it don't. I mean, honestly, when did Dak have his best chance to win a Super Bowl?
Probably
I think 2016, right?
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's when Zeke was at his best.
Running crazy.
Yeah. When that team wasn't even drafted for Dak. Like he really kind of fell into that.
He was drafted for Romo.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that was supposed to be for Romo because that was the piece that was supposed to put it over the top for Romo. Yeah. Romo didn't have shots unless he had a running game.
Correct. He had to throw too much. But let me ask you a question. But if on the first night we get Caleb Downs and then get if Jeremiah Love is there at 20, would you take him?
Yeah, I would.
I would too, man. I mean, I know people will say stuff, man, but I'll be like, no, man, I know what I need for my team, and I know what this is going to do for our defense and everything else. And that doesn't mean you don't even sign Javonte because those running back contracts aren't expensive.
Well, the reason that I do it is like you said, like you get two of the best players in the draft, but on top of that, you got money. Spend some damn money. For what I can't get, I need to spend money.
Honestly, Downs is the only player I am taking at 12 over Jeremiah Love.
Caleb Downs?
It's the only maybe
I would take Bain. I would take Bain
if he's there. But other than that, those are the only two players I'm taking over Love at 12.
I'm with you.
I'm like, because Love actually takes the pressure off your defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we built our offensive line up, right? Like, especially our interior offensive line.
If actually Javonte was a better running back, he actually should have had 1,700 to 1,800 yards last year.
The thing I like about Javonte, though, he brings grit and he brings a toughness to the running game, man. Because that boy put that head down and run over.
Well, here's my thing, and just because you got him, don't mean he can't be what Alfred Morris was to Zeke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think if you draft him, you sign Javonte. Javonte ain't gonna want much money, man. It's running back money. They ain't gonna break you. And so you could do both of them and bring Love along slowly. You know what I'm saying?
They probably would make around the same money.
Yeah, yeah. You'll be spending about $13 million a year at running back position. I mean, that's pretty much nothing, man.
Which in actuality, you was giving Zeke 18. You know what I'm saying? So you still kind of in a good spot.
And even if you don't get Love, you actually can still double dip and get Breece Hall and Javonte Williams.
Yeah,
which fixes your backfield because you have a dynamic back, sturdy back.
And I'll say this, man. Like I've told this, I told Law this year before last. I said, man, it was I called up the show. I say, I don't understand why people don't go get like the top running backs in the league in free agency. And he was like, why you say that? I said, I would get two. I said, man, because running backs are so cheap. You buy stock when it's low. The running game is still one of the biggest indicator if you won the game or not. If you dominate the running game, you're probably going to win. That's on any level, high school, college, whatever.
It don't matter.
And it costs you no money to go get these running backs. I mean, look at the impact Saquon Barkley had, and I think he only made like $10 million that year they went to the Super Bowl. And so you're saying that's 1/3 of CeeDee Lamb's money, man. And running backs, actually, a good running back is going to carry the ball more than CD is going to catch it. And so you could actually, and also too, how do you assert yourself? The running game or the passing game? When you flick your wheel on another team, it's a running game where you're just moving people and they can't stop you. That's how you break their wheel. You don't break people's wheel throwing the ball. And so, man, I don't understand why every year you ought to go get the best running backs out there. Why? Because it only costs $6 million.
and guess what? And getting Jeremiah Love still don't stop me from getting Katron Allen.
No, don't stop me from
later on.
No,
it don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so I think two places where you can get your money's worked out of. The NFL is the value, but they still got to play the game, so it's still on the field. Running back and linebacker. Like, why don't you go get the best linebackers out there? Like, linebackers don't cost that much, man. And cornerbacks, all that stuff on the peripheral costs money.
Good linebackers.
That's a fact, bro. Your linebacker, the best defenses have
good linebackers.
And guess what? You sitting at a position right now this year where there are linebackers galore too. It's a safety linebacker edge draft. You know what I'm saying? These edges is popping up too. So it's a hell of a year. It's a hell of a year to build your run game, and a hell of a year like early though. You gotta get premium running backs this year.
Yeah.
Last year,
third round.
Yeah, you gotta kind of get them early this year. But this year, safeties are going to carry in the later rounds. Linebackers are going to carry in the later rounds, and so are edges. So, hey, the Cowboys got those needs, so you can address that this year and spend money. That's the way. But again, 7 wins, you can't afford to not spend money. You got to spend money this year, and it can't. And we're not talking homegrown.
And I saw this chart. I guess you may have seen it too on Twitter. I think it was where they said that, you know, as far as making cap room, the Cowboys actually could make the most cap room in the whole league. But Philadelphia is last.
Yeah, I
Philadelphia's done what they're supposed to do. That's why they last. It's not bad. You know, they put it all in for them. But yeah, so they have the ability. I guess we all know they've had the ability to do it. But I think what it is, and I don't want to get too much into this, I think it's cash spending that they don't like doing, like putting the cash out there where other organizations don't mind putting the cash, because you give the person the cash and something happens, they've already got the money. So the Cowboys like to hold on to their cash, man. And so I think that's kind of what it is.
I think their actually cash problem is the Cowboys make a lot of money, but they also put a lot of money in other stuff. So they are spending cash on their advertisements to a damn plumbing company instead of their players.
Yeah, the halftime show at the Thanksgiving probably cost them a lot. It's damn near a Super Bowl production.
Yeah,
that nobody cares about. You know what I'm saying? Like they bring in a whole bunch of. Texas people care about it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody really tuning in. Don't nobody care about who they be getting for halftime. But they spend money on that type of stuff. You know,
paintings in the stadium.
Yeah,
they got dancers all over the place in them little cages.
Hey, I got another subject, man. Just if you don't mind, DMV.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Because I did a show and I give y'all my take. Because D-Law said some things. He's kind of prodded into saying it after the game, but also you couple that with what he said when he got signed, and a lot of people were kind of upset at D-Law, man. Like, you know, kind of going at him. But my analogy is not, like I said, I did a video on this on my channel. I said this. You know, you ever see the team get beat, like a high school team get beat 80-0? Now when that happens, the coach can, if you interview the coach, he can either do two things. He could say, hey, the other coach was classless. He should have pulled his starters out. They didn't have to score 80, all this other kind of stuff. Or you know what you could say? You could say, we got to be better. We shouldn't be losing 80-0. We got to go. We need to be in the summer. We need to be there lifting weights. We need to be out there doing 7-on-7. We got to do all these things to get better. Why? Because this is on us. If we don't want to get beat 80-0, then we got to play better. And so what it is, if you don't want D-Law putting that in your face, then go win a Super Bowl. Do what you got to do as an organization. Go win a Super Bowl, and that's just what it is, man. So I don't like when a dude win till the victor goes to spawn. That dude can say whatever he want to say. And guess what? He's been in that locker room for 10 years, man. So that dude know more about that locker room than I do. He ought to feel bad because they never even offered him a contract. So they gave up on him. And so he goes over there and win the Super Bowl. What you think he's gonna say? He gonna pop his stuff. That's what he's supposed to do. And if you don't want him popping his stuff, then you go out there and shut him up this year. It ought to motivate everybody and the front office too.
Hey, look, we're all grown men. We didn't all been through probably bad relationships at some point. You done had a bad ex or something like that. And listen, I'm probably one of the one people that's gonna tell you to not ever really be emotional. But when you win and whatever they thought over there was wrong, you ain't wrong for peacocking.
Yeah.
In his case, he ain't wrong for Seahawking.
He can do all that. I'm just glad he ain't tired.
What up, set it off?
What's up, dog? What's up,
going
man?
on?
You know, B-Bird is spot on. But I'm just glad he ain't tired. Because he was still on the field when we was getting them 40 points ran up on our ass. He was out there not sacking Jimmy Garoppolo. He did exactly what he did in Dallas, except for he wasn't tired.
Hey, he wasn't.
Sacks.
He
But you know why though? Because in Dallas they tried to make him the dude, and he wasn't a dude.
And he wasn't.
In Seattle, he's exactly what he was. He ain't do nothing different.
He was a piece. Right. Didn't do nothing special. So
hey, he was.
I'm glad
He did. Hey, Chris, he did get tired though.
He did.
Yeah. At that Super Bowl parade, he said he was tired of.
He got tired of holding up the trophy.
He was tired of holding up the trophy,
man. He got tired. He had to get somebody else.
I'm telling you. Hey, man. Hey, he can talk. He can talk cocaine, cash, trash. He got it. You know.
But we all know he actually was
we
talking to a certain player that's not in Dallas anymore either.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean that whole situation was gonna be janky anyway. And I ain't gonna take no thunder because Jay Tuck said it early. You weren't going to win or be in that position when you lost Micah, D-Law, and J. Lou in this offseason. You weren't. We were the delusional ones drinking that Kool-Aid thinking it was gonna be okay. And it
Diggs
wasn't.
Diggs and Bland wasn't Bland.
And Diggs was Diggs, Bland wasn't Bland. There was no way we were gonna get to 12 wins we expected. Ford gave you the games you expect him to give you. I expect Ford to give me 5 games. But that defense was so porous. It's hard to be perfect, man. I mean, you guys are perfect. You guys are perfect. You know, y'all great husbands, family men, business owners, employees. But, man, it's hard to be perfect every time you turn around. And that's what they forced Rain and that offense to be all season. They forced them to be perfect. They forced them. Every time they got the ball out of there, they were on some goofiness like Shannon Sharp would say, well, you do get the ball too. Yeah, but they get to play defense too. And that was the part that kind of got me. They never gave them any help. But I wanted to chime in real quick, man, to get out y'all hair, man. I love listening to you guys. That pick at 12 holds the most value. And when you guys were talking about Jeremiah Love, me and DMV had talked about that, just in our normal everyday conversations. If you turn around and go get Love, you extend Rain 2 to 3 more years, or it sets you up to the point where you can get rid of him and go draft a Drew Aller, go get a Nussmeier, and sit him on the bench for a year or 2 years, and then bring him along, and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a contingency plan where you're not going to not pay Rain again. You're not going to pay him again.
Yeah, facts. So, and did you hear the scenario where they said we get Caleb down to 12 and then he's sitting Love is sitting there at 20?
I gotta go get him.
Yeah, you gotta get him.
No. Depends on who's on the board. Because if Mesidor's on the board at 20, I'm taking Mesidor. And then see, when y'all were talking about that, where you have more value at 12, if I can drop back to no later than 16, and if you look at it, the teams that are behind us, they're going to need a quarterback. So one of those guys depending on what happens at the combine, somebody will hopefully move up. But I'm not going any further back than 16 because I either want Proctor or Francis. I'm not going to mess up that young man's last name out of Miami. And I can go because everything's going to predicate how they feel about this team if they cut Terrence Steele in the beginning of free agency. That will let you know exactly where they're going.
I don't think they are cutting them.
See, So if they don't cut Steele, right, you're looking to the point, okay, we're gonna have a competition out there, figure out between him, Nate Thomas, Cornelius, something. To me, and these jokers got some really hard last names, and even I took phonics, and I even have a hard time getting their names right. So, so you turn around, if you can get one of those guys, and then turn around and keep guiding that left tackle, because the biggest question you got to ask yourself: how much do they like their left tackle?
Yeah.
How much do they like him?
Let me ask you a question, because you brought up Messidor, and anybody can answer this. I have a deal with I think that it takes a while for a rookie defensive end to come in and really get your bang for your buck with them.
Mm-hmm.
But with that window being maybe 2 to 3 years, I mean, don't we need a guy that can give us double-digit sacks now? I mean, because Izaraku has 16 sacks his senior year.
No.
I actually think Izaraku gonna be that. Like you said,
yeah.
And if they switch it to the 3-4, he's gonna be standing up. Which at BC he was standing up and doing a lot of that.
Absolutely.
So, like, one of the bigger questions for us was how he was going to be with his hand down. But now he's going to be standing up. Now I feel a hell of a lot better about him.
And what you have in Messidor, being at his age is 25, you need him for 4 years, because he's going to be on the right side of 30 within those 4 years for that 4-year contract. And then you'll turn around and be, hey, let me go ahead and find the next guy. If he turns around at the end of that 4th year, if you want to bring him back for a 2-year, 3-year deal, fine. He's still within that window of being that. I think he is who he is at 25. I think he is exactly who he is, which is a very productive strong side defensive end, and has got versatility and got a motor. My double-digit sack guy has got to be Izaraku. That's who I'm looking at for that. But go ahead.
The elephant in the room that nobody talking about is, what are you going to do with Osa? With making the change, bro, I think somebody out there feels like maybe they could use him. Maybe you get your third back that way. Yeah. And you just cut your losses, bro. You got money.
Yeah, you cannot go in the draft night and be talking about I'm not going to draft until 112. With the issues you have, you cannot do that and say I'm not drafting until 112. Because that's when that could come up.
Yep. So it's like, what do they do with Osa with the change? Like I just don't. He's not better than Kenny Clark.
Nope.
He's not better than Quentin.
Nope.
We all knew that before they signed that deal. We all knew that. We all would have said that.
So if you can, so what you talking about, DMV, you talking about on draft night, you trying to get Osa up out of there and Pickens.
Hey,
I don't want Pickens to go. I'm trying to find a way to keep Pickens and build the defense. So I kind of feel like I can keep him and unload Osa to get better defense.
So Osa, if Osa was that good, Quentin Williams wouldn't be here.
Correct. No, but I think they play two different positions. Whereas Osa,
for sure.
Three.
Like
he's a three.
Dan Quinn will take Osa. Yeah. Dan Quinn will take him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He's really a three. Quentin is a one with the versatility to play three. So that's why they're different.
Yeah.
So I think if you turn around, if you get Clark and you figure out what you're going to do with Toya behind there and anybody else that you're, kind of developing, because those are going to be your two main guys, and I think that'll be fine.
Yeah.
But
so he was a 0 and a 1 shade in the 3-4 UCLA. So I think he's a sure body on this team.
And you actually got a better D-line coach this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that coaching staff gonna be. I think the coaching staff gonna have a lot of accountability to it too, man. I think these brothers ain't gonna be letting these dudes get off. They ain't gonna be letting these dudes get off with this. Yeah, these excuses. I think they're coming at these boys, man. They're gonna be like, nah, man. Yeah. Your play got to get better. We got somebody behind you.
Yeah, but I think. Yeah, that's what they're gonna have to have. Which is did y'all already talk about the secondary, or did I miss the secondary talk?
No, we didn't talk about the secondary yet, but you already know. You already know where I stand with that, buddy. You already know it. But if we talking about if you talk about it at 12, you talk, because we didn't go past the Caleb Downs thing. We trying to get dummies to say that Caleb Downs ain't a top 10 pick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what y'all campaigning now. Caleb Down
Yeah.
sucks. Caleb Down
Oh yeah,
sucks.
he's
So,
a bust.
okay,
Yeah, he's
okay,
a bust. Yeah.
I can get behind that. I can get behind that. Well, all I got to do is go put two Asian women, a baby seal, and a pound of that Colombian bang bang down there, and that can really help out. So just let me know. No, I mean, because that's the only way it's gonna work. Behind him being that he sucks, because he's a secondary piece. He's a guy who can go in the slot.
Yeah,
He's a guy
yeah.
who can
Caleb Downs,
get from the hatches.
he
Yeah,
smokes weed in the gas mask
yeah,
every day.
right, right.
He
I'm saying
fights
that's
with
the only way
No,
we
I'm
get.
joking. I'm
Listen,
joking.
because the thing about it, I think me and DMV had talked about this. He's one of those 5 players that if he's sitting there, I break both my ankles to get to the podium to get the card in. That is definitely a must that has to happen.
For sure.
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
I think the
So,
question in the secondary is if you got Delane and McCoy both there, what are you gonna do?
what would you do? What would you do,
Yeah,
DMV?
I already know what we would do. What would you do?
I am taking this is how I feel. I
Uh
think McCoy is the better cornerback, but
huh.
I can't take him at 12 because I can't have 3-inch corners.
Okay. So let me give you a scenario. If he had gotten injured in October of 25, I could rock with you on that, right? Had he been hurt and not on the field in October, like he played 25 and got hurt in October 25, I'm with you all day. I'm not taking an injured corner. But he got hurt in, I think, October, November,
January, January.
January of 25, right? So by the time you get him to camp, he is 18 months removed from his injury. And I am a big proponent on, whereas we think, oh, if a guy had his ACL done, he should be back. He should be back within 6 months, 6 to 8 to 10 months. No, he's back at 6 to 8 months of doing the normal stuff that you and I do. Take out the garbage, go ahead and
Correct.
cut the yard, grill.
That
Right.
is that is I'm not being in football shape.
Yeah.
Getting in there in football shape and just being healed are 2 different things.
But then having confidence.
So what if I told you?
on that knee.
What if I told you, bro, was practicing? Because I got practice footage in my breakdown video of
Right.
this year. He was getting ready to come back.
If you're to the point where you're now officially going back and running around, and by the time he gets there, he's 18 months removed, then he is damn near back to his original form. And that's when I have no problem if he's sitting there. If he's sitting there at 20, I kill myself to do it. But my problem is we have an issue where we're not going to pick until 112.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. I can't in good conscience say I'm going to go ahead and try to go at 112 and think I'm going to be able to fix his defense. So it's going to be imperative for this whole franchise to actually compete in free agency, to
Correct.
actually make moves in free agency this year to shore up holes. And I'm not talking about I'm just talking about putting, dollar store band-aids on it. I'm talking about putting legitimate pieces in place to make it work.
Yeah.
Anything outside of that, we out here talking and procrastinating, and going back and forth and pulling our damn hair out for something that they ain't serious about.
Well, the thing about it too, Chris, is that there's different ways to acquire players, and we just
absolutely.
It's like fighting with a one hand tied behind your back, man. If you don't, these other teams ain't scared of free agency. You are. You're scared of getting a player that don't live up to it. But other teams, hey man, I've always used this analogy. Y'all probably heard it before. Don't keep that bat on your shoulder looking for a walk. Home runs aren't hitting the bat on your shoulder.
Man,
and so you got to take a swing. And guess what? When you swing, like I tell people before, my daughter plays softball. I told her, if you're aggressive in your swing, I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
Long as you're aggressive.
Oh my
God!
Aggressive
at the plate or you strike out, I don't care. I want you striking out with the bat on your shoulder. And
you took me back there, B-Bird.
Too many off seasons.
You took me back, B-Bird. My daughter plays softball too.
Oh, cool.
We had to talk about that one at a time. But my thing is, they have been aggressive. They have tried to do it. They're just bad at it. There's no reason why you're sitting
because
here.
They're not intentional. They're reactive. They're not intentional with what they're doing. And if you're not intentional, then it's going to look the way that it's looked.
I think DMV. I think because when they've done these things, like they do it out of spite. Perfect example. You gave a fourth rounder for Trey Lance because you were mad at
I
Rain.
said that earlier.
Yeah,
Chris.
you were mad at Rain. You know, you turned around and gave another fourth round to a guy who, from the announcers from draft day, Mingo was a player, but Tennessee gave him up. It was Tennessee gave him up for a fourth. I'm not giving anybody anything in the top 100. Out of the top 100, I need to build my football team. After that, I'm trying to find guys as gems or guys who needed the opportunity to play or develop or turn around and see if they can do it. In the top 100, I'm not giving you anything. So they're giving you turn around here now with 2 fourths gone on guys that you really don't know if you even want them on your football field. And then you turned around and took another guy that you got a guy who you should have signed immediately when you got him in Pickens.
Yeah.
And now he's to the point where he can play the market. So I'm be honest with you. Y'all said it best, and I heard you. It was great. If this isn't decided by the time the draft comes up, I'm trading him. I'm gonna trade him. I know we don't want to. I know you don't want to trade him, DMV. I know Brandon and with me at Franklin Football will probably fight me to trade him, but I'm not going into the season again after the draft trying to get premium assets for a guy. If you were gonna do that, if you couldn't get that thing settled with Micah by the time the draft got, you should have drafted him on traded him on draft night because you would have got the highest value from him then. You could have probably turned around and got 2 1s, a second and a fifth for him.
It would have been more understandable if you did it then.
Absolutely.
You would have got more, and
the
money would have made more sense. You'd have money to spend to go get people, all that. Like I think with people, this is where they're missing with the Micah thing. People are trying to replace Micah. You're never going to replace Micah with one person. But you got to create a unit. You got to build a unit. And I mean, solid players.
Right.
Solid players. You know what I'm saying? Like really good players though. Like not bums, not undrafted free agents.
Yeah, or guys at the end of their career or whatnot. If I'm going to replace him with one, then I'm going to be able to turn around and go get a couple of draft picks who I'm developing to the point that I get the 3-1 because he was just a weapon.
I'm gonna go get some Nick Herbigs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a Sanborn. If you guys have seen Herbig play, that's not the Sanborn type player. That's a guy that I can win with him right now.
Absolutely, he's a guy.
I can't tell the difference between Herbig and Watts, man. To be honest with you, because
sometimes I can't either.
I'll be like, well, who's that? What?
I mean, you know, they all look alike. You know how that goes down. You know, they all look alike. You know, but I mean, you guys are exactly right. That will tell me so much about what they're doing. And I had kind of hashtag or type of feeling last year. It was Howie versus the Joneses. That was my feeling because if you weren't going to be proactive in free agency, you just playing with my emotions and my feelings. And here's the problem, where Steven will tell, the credit card comes due. Man, you got more than enough money to pay that credit card because every year the NFL salary cap goes up. It has not gone up.
Can I tell y'all, I have this theory that we have way more casual fans than we have, say, us, right?
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't take much to convince them, and I think the Joneses know that. So they can just throw out their pie and all this other kind of stuff. And the regular fans eat that up. They don't know that. Nah, man. If a quarterback makes $50 million, like Jalen Hurts made $55 million a year, but he's only counting like $17 million against a contract on some of those years.
Right.
Because they're trying to get players in right now, win right now. And so, but a lot of fans, Dak making so much money, he can't. Dude, you don't realize. And I can't walk to every casual fan and convince them. So the Joneses know that. So they throw stuff out there. And the fans like, we can't sign him because of that contract. And now Dak gets all this. Somebody said something about this a while ago that was so interesting because I don't know who it was. I want to give them credit, but I don't know who it was. They say about the Joneses sell star players on how much they can make in Dallas. But when they drag them through the mud, they're not even marketable anymore. They're not even good for commercials anymore. Why? Because half the fan base hate them now. I was like, wow. I said, somebody said that. I said, you're right. That's correct.
Yep. You vilify him to the point where people are like, he's making way too much money. And because the perception right now for the casual fan is that all these guys are making all this money, and that kills it for the perception from people. That's trickled all the way down to the college fan now. Most college
Yeah.
people talking about all these guys are making all this money when a lot of these guys aren't making that kind of money. They're making some money. It's only a few that are making super duper. There are a lot of kids who make good money, but they're not making to the point where they can quit and leave this, leave playing football.
Well, Chris, you got a son playing ball now, don't you, in college?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do have a son. He plays at Virginia Tech.
Cool.
And he about to be a dog.
God willing. God willing.
Yes,
God
sir.
willing.
Yes, sir.
God willing. Yeah, he's doing. Yeah, he's But like I said, you still got in that situation. You got the fan, the casual fan. All these guys are making millions of dollars. They count these kids' pockets.
Yeah.
But they fail to realize that from the and y'all guys know from the college life of where you're not just an athlete, but you're also a student. So you got that, and then you got 5,000 people, who ain't never ran full speed in their life.
Hey, bro, I thought about y'all the other day. You gotta tell Key this, bro. So look, you gotta tell him this. Hold on. So me and Jay was working out in the gym, and I ran full speed and tweaked my hamstring.
See what I'm saying? You got jokers out here who ain't never ran full speed in real life talking about, oh, they suck. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And that's the perception that a lot of these kids have. Like, man, everybody has access to me. They try to have access to me, and they don't understand. But I took an adage from one of my good friends, Kevin Drones, and he said, these people really think they matter.
Hey, man. Hey, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Chris.
Yes, sir.
I know Kevin Drones, right?
I
don't know him, but I'm from Galveston. That's where he's from.
Right. That's my guy. That is my dude.
His dad. I know his son's quarterback down there.
His son is there, and his son is the offensive lineman. He plays for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, his dad coached me, man, when I was young, and that's me. His dad's still living too. So
yeah, that's my guy. Kevin is my guy.
Yeah, man. Galveston ball, man. That's my people,
man. Yeah, man. That's dope.
Well, yeah, fellas, I gotta get ready to go.
Yeah, hey, man, I
gotta get ready to handle some business at home.
Okay.
I mean, I took my lunch break so that I could talk to everybody and stuff like that. Hey, look, set it off. I was telling everybody before you got on, before I sent you the link, I was like, man, I decided to go on here because we talk about these things all the time.
Yeah, we sit down and
we sit here and have these conversations every day. I was like, I'm gonna bring it to y'all today. And we're gonna put the link out there and see who pop in. So
I saw it pop up. What made me jump? I definitely want to sit down with you, but my man B Bird on there. Yo, shout out to him and his Friday night.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, man. Shout out to him and make sure you drop that out there, B Bird. That Friday night crew, man. They get on. I think his name is Big Time. I think it's Big Time. The Big Show.
No, Big Time.
Like
Big Time.
Big Time. Yeah, the Big Time show. I listened to him. He dropping some good stuff, man. But yeah, man, plug your stuff, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
So, man, we're gonna be on tonight actually at 7:00, man. We got to go ahead. Man, look, it's OG podcast, man. There's some dudes that have been around to see most of these Super Bowls and want to see 6. And so, man, y'all join in and just subscribe to my channel. B Bird Cowboys is on the screen.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, DMV. We got to do it again. But Chris, we got to do it again, man. We had a good show that time,
I know, man. Hey, man. I don't usually jump out here unless I'm dealing with family. My boy Brandon, he's sick, man. He's been sick, so man, definitely prayers up to him. He got that crud. But I saw.
Oh man, he got sick during draft season, bro. We gotta get him some vitamins, dog. He gotta get some ashwagandha.
Hey, trust me, B crunch more players than could be imagined, man.
Yeah.
And I'm still changing. I think B's probably at like 90 to 100 players.
Wow.
I'm messing around on 35.
I rely on you guys too.
Hey, man, dude, I'm telling you, man, he be after it. So definitely check us out, man, and come fall through, man. But anytime, man, you B Bird, you family. You ain't even you don't even have to worry about going in the kitchen. You know how to go in the kitchen, get you a glass and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, B Bird, where can the people find the channel on YouTube? Where can they find
just put in B Bird Cowboys on YouTube. Man, I appreciate y'all coming to join us, man. I've started to do a little bit more things on my own. Cool. I actually got my intro, my daughter did and everything.
That's dope.
It might get some copyright infringements, right? I'm gonna keep on running till they tell me something.
No doubt.
But yeah,
no
man,
doubt,
y'all be looking out for me, man. If y'all don't mind going to the channel and all. And DMV, I want to say something to you, man. I've always thought that you should do more shows, man. Because I always like, why this dude don't do more shows on his own? Because you got it, man.
I be having a lot going on, man. Hey, look, I juggle the dad life, juggle coaching, juggle full-time job. So but I plan on doing more though. I appreciate you saying that though. Thank you. Appreciate
you gotta do more, man. We like your perspective, brother.
Stay on him, B-Bird. I be telling him the same thing. He be thinking I'm blowing smoke. You know, he think because we friends in real life.
Yeah,
I'm blowing smoke, man.
I've been watching DMV for a while. I love your takes, man. So
no doubt.
You know what we got to do though, man. Just I think all of us, right? Us three. We just got to post more. We got to get on our grind, man.
Yeah.
It's out there to get. We just got to get on our grind.
And definitely invite me to the Friday show too, man. Because for the most part, like, look, football over now, so I got time on Friday.
Yeah, we definitely do that, man.
Do that. Do your thing. All right, fellas.
All
Listen,
right,
man. Peace and blessings, man.
Yeah,
appreciate y'all again, man.
Appreciate everybody, man. We out, man. Peace.
Peace.